we are getting straight into this game. DistInkt versus DistInkt Mafia Sparking Flavour. Both teams running a pretty typical comp, except we are seeing Chano on this V-Try. We know him as this bucket player, but opting to go for the vanilla Tri-Slosher, which we actually saw Jasmine play when they fought DistInkt Mafia on this map earlier. Now both teams fighting for the pop with DistInkt, managing to come out on top here. Mooj using that bow's range to just try and get people out of range, out of that mid. But then Tame going in just a bit aggressively and getting cleaned up by Epson Savage.
Already 3 down on the side of DistInkt, and DistInkt are going to keep this push going with these strikes from Savage, and just more and more kills keep on coming through. They get the checkpoint on the right side within the first 30 seconds, and Savage is going to go on a long flank against Tame, gets the fight. Tiger on the plat, completely isolated, will be taken out as well. 40 seconds in, and DistInkt only have 30 points left.
This is an absolutely crazy switch-up that we're seeing from DistInkt Mafia here. A lovely dominant start that if you are a DistInkt fan, you will love to see. Rainmaker already passed the checkpoint, already through onto their plat, getting a few more points in. Savage getting another pick as well, forcing himself back into mid, but still gets that pick. And Pop is going to be DistInkt's.
It's only
down.
Tiger. It's only the Carbon and the Zuka. DistInkt get to 6, but they will not get to knockout. DistInkt stay alive in the game for now, but it's already so much pressure within the first minute. Savage looking to find Tame, but the Rainmaker has already dropped. He will not be able to get any sort of objective push on this. How is he still alive against 2? Finding Mooj, potentially able to get the shots, but late enough to where Mooj is able to find a trade. DistInkt still have mid control and the Rainmaker, and they're going to look to continue fighting this plat as DistInkt don't even know if there's a flank or not.
And I mean, hey, look at this score. We're already about only a minute and a half into this game, and they're already up to 6. Tame manages to get this pick into Chano and still fighting for this pop, but DistInkt have one hell of a way to go. Chris getting taken down immediately by this Decapitator, a weapon that we've been seeing on the rise recently in the comp scene, just looking so strong. Missed, just hounding this checkpoint. Chano maybe seeing what it did to them during their fight against Infrared and trying to use it to their advantage, but Chris 3 now here, the lone defense at the moment of this check. Manages to get the pick on Afro, but it's just a bit too late. Getting the pick on Tiger as well. DistInkt, sorry, managing to get this pop. Tame now dropped into pit, pops the bubble as well. DistInkt just need to make sure they can defend this Rainmaker and then get it back towards this middle side. Afro now also towards this bottom left as DistInkt decide to make a push through mid.
Yeah, DistInkt were a bit staggered, which allowed DistInkt to get that checkpoint, but they turned the fight back into their favor, as DistInkt will look to do the same right now as they remove Chris from the right-hand side. Only 2 members of DistInkt standing, but the Toxic Mist and the Inkjet will be big stopping points for the side of DistInkt. However, Ips is also down. The Tactical is out though, and the Inkjet will come out soon. DistInkt look to keep the Rainmaker alive for as long as they can. 2 minutes left, as there's 2 members on the side of DistInkt also. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough for them to break through. DistInkt's members dropping in and going in with these Ink Strikes will remove the Rainmaker from the equation as Tiger's jumping in, looking to find what they can, but will have to back right out.
I was going to say, getting this roller down is probably one of the biggest ways that DistInkt Mafia are going to be able to get a push through, but Tame just fighting right back, getting a really important pick, and Chano's down as well. It's now a 3v4 in middle here. Chris manages to get the pick on Tame on that extra range with Squeezer, gets another pick with the Zuka as well. Not quite able to find the third with that special, but now DistInkt are going to be able to safely get this pop and force the members of DistInkt back into their spawn. Zuka comes out from the side of Afro, doesn't manage to find anything. Rainmaker gets picked up by Emps, and he gets taken down straight away. Afro getting taken down by Chano as well as he gets a second. Jet does get popped as well, looking to push back these members of DistInkt. They know that Tame's here in this bubble, and with it popped, there's not much else he can do. But Chano still aggressively holding this angle, manages to get out as well. Tame just barely missing that crucial shot onto Chano in that corner.
DistInkt desperately claim mid, as they are going to have both of their Zukas online soon, as they have one of their final opportunities to take the lead. Savage falls to a bomb early. That's what you want if you're DistInkt. The Zuka coming out. Only 1 member down on the side of DistInkt still. The Zuka won't connect, but the shots will land onto Ips as the Toxic Mist just make it so difficult for DistInkt to get through. Tiger with the second Zuka coming out. Will there be any kills for the side of DistInkt? DistInkt members are not falling yet. The Zuka from Chris will remove the Rainmaker, but DistInkt will still find kills with Tiger, but the members will not be alive to continue the push, and with 20 seconds left, game 1 should be in DistInkt's hands.
Wipe out there from DistInkt Mafia Sparking Flavour. keeping this Rainmaker in their spawn. 10 seconds left now as well. DistInkt not really having any sort of chance to redeem themselves here unless they can get this pop. But Chano here with this Inkjet gets that pick and keeps DistInkt away from that Rainmaker. Game 1 solidly going to Chewits Mafia after a very impressive, almost like I'd say a 1 minute into the game push to 24 in their spawn, and then eventually getting it to 6 about 2 minutes into the game. Such a clean push. And I think after seeing the series we had of Chewits versus DistInkt yesterday, this is what we were expecting from them. This is the Chewits sparking flavor that we know.
Yeah, a much needed game win for Chewits. We saw them just come back from a 1-0 deficit against Infrared, but if you want that momentum, if you want to set the pace in this series, taking that game 1 on the neutral map is definitely what you want. Now, we're going to see the counter pick come out from DistInkt here. On the cast yesterday, I spoke with my co-caster about how, you know, Rainmaker can favor them, especially with that bow having the extra pop power. We'll see if they lean towards that. However, they did just lose on Rainmaker, so with the sort of recency bias, I guess you could say, going against them, they may not want to pick back into that and just go to other places of comfort.
I was going to say, I think Rainmaker has been a very strong map for the side of Chewits as well. They tend to favor counter-picking it. They like Rainmaker on Scorched Gorge, and as the counter-pick set in, Splat Zones Robo Ramen. An interesting map, I like to say. It's one of the more favored zones modes that we have, but it is a map that is so snowbally. If you manage to get this zone and push into their spawn up that ramp, if you have the right holds, it can be so difficult for that enemy team to get out of their spawn and get back to their zone.
Yeah, this is a very interesting pick to me because I assume this is a map that Chewits would like as well. But when you do these counter picks, it's best to focus on yourself and your own team. And I think this Tri-Stringer is going to be able to find a lot of impact on this map if they're able to execute it properly. Because, I mean, some of the angles you can take and just the fact that middle is quite compact in terms of the range from plat to plat, this bow it's going to have the angles you want. So if they're able to capitalize that and the bow is able to be set up in position, it could be very good for DistInkt. But if Chewits keep it to a pace where they're just not allowing DistInkt that time to ever set up, it could be very difficult for them to get back into the game.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. And another thing I'd like to touch on as well is Ips on the side of Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavor, switching between that pencil and that zap. The pencil, always good for just some longer range defense, getting a lot of paint down, quick callers, that kind of thing. But also the zap favoring Chewits Mafia's more aggressive playstyle that they like to have and allows him to go more in because Ips likes to be aggressive. But like we said, going into the game now, Chano back on the slosher. Charcoal Decapitator coming out from the side of Tame as well. Same team comp for the side of DistInkt. Chewits Mafia, DistInkt game 2, Robo Roman zones. Let's see how we like it. DistInkt have been looking really, really clean on their openings so far on both days. But Chano and Samage in that bottom right there, getting a pick already. Unfortunately, does go down to Afro, but cleaning it up. Chewits Mafia, if they take down Tiger, should be able to get the zone in their favor.
Chewits instantly cleaning up the entirety of mid, just instantly getting a pick on Tame, who dived in too early, and then another pick at the same time as this Zuka and Teamfight is coming out in DistInkt spawn. Chewits want to get a huge lockout early on as the fall-off shots on the bow will deny any chance of an early retake for DistInkt as Chewits look to keep up pressure, and they will get special to do so soon.
60 already on our timer, you know. We like to say that's the golden number when you get that opening control of whatever the objective is. 60 is always the one you want to get it to. Samage here fighting for his life in bottom right, though. And now Chris, with this Zuka, manages to get one. Unfortunately, not quite able to find anything else just yet as DistInkt do get the zone in their favor, but the strikes coming out from Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavor now. Chano unfortunately does go down, but Chewits get the control. Tiger is looking behind Chewits. Sam just opting to go for that jump as DistInkt hold control now and look for a push into their spawn.
I don't know how Tiger got there, but the fact that they were behind just forces Chewits to back off, as otherwise they would have been pincered. Samage immediately, Zuka gets a member of DistInkt off the board, and now the chumps will come out, and Chewits look to move forward into this zone. Tiger not able to get the kill yet, but importantly will stay alive. Mooj being hunted down, but Tame jumps in, no kills yet. Chris will go down, and now Tame climbing up the wall, looking to go back into the zone. Ips wants to deny any opportunity of members moving forward, and he will do just that. And now the Tri-Strike will come out to support. Ooh, Tiger, no shots connected with the Zuka just yet, but a fight is still going on as Tiger will look for Chris, but won't find it. Tame, though.
Tame, I mean, one of the really, really important members of DistInkt, but one thing I'd like to mention briefly, Ibs has been doing a really, really good job so far today of keeping an eye on where every single member of DistInkt is. His game knowledge is just so, so good. But as I say that, Tame manages to take down Ibs, but Tame falls to the splat bomb that was in the hands of Chano. Kryztal now fighting on the zone, manages to trade out Afro, and now it's all up to Samich and Chano as Ibs makes his way back into the zone. But Tame manages to go down. And now the strike's going to their spawn. 35 ticks left for Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavour. They just need to hold this for as long as they possibly can and stop DistInkt from getting back into their zone.
It was absolute chaos on the zone, but no flip for the side of DistInkt. That's what they need right now if they want to keep this game going. Zuka looking for Ips. Ips will stay standing. However, DistInkt will get the cap to extend this game. Afro moving forward, claims one before he falls. Mooj now looking for the shots and the angles onto the enemy plat, but DistInkt got the job done and got the zone.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, Kryztal, we've been looking at him a lot recently of how good he is on this squeezer. Definitely a player that I think we should highlight on the side of Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavour, making the weapon, despite its changes, still looks so good. And now Chewits Mafia getting the zone back in their favor, but Afro is coming on a bit of a side angle here. It's looking like Chewits are going to try and get him out of there. Chris opting to go for the fight against Tame with this jet, but Tame in this jet is just so, so good. And with Chris going down, this is going to be DistInkt getting hold of this zone. Ibs is pushed so, so far back.
Samich.
And even though he is on this pencil, Samich is so far forward, manages to get a pick as well. And now Chewits looking to get a bit more control in this zone. Ibs on this pencil just looking to paint as much as he can. The bubble does go up. That will stop that painting from Chewits just a little bit. Chano, unfortunately, putting one of those strikes where it wasn't quite meant to be. And DistInkt hold control of this zone just a little bit longer as another member of Chewits goes down. But Savage is behind them and manages to get one, manages to get two as well. Unfortunately falls, but it's now a 1v3 for DistInkt. Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavour should be able to get the zone back right here.
Chewits, they look like they were crumbling, but the zone flips back in their favor. They're going to need some better special management than they did on those retakes. We saw twice some really early specials coming out. Chris will fall to a bomb, it seems like. Chano has the strikes available. The Zuka will come out now. All specials for the side of Chewits. That means they need kills from them. Only one, though. Chano stuck in the shots from Mooj. Chewits, all grouped on the zone. Samich falls. There's a flank. There's a pincer. DistInkt could fight and take this zone. Afro on the side. Chewits so close to a knockout, but DistInkt will claim the zone and have it going into overtime. Afro needed to connect that shot onto Samich, and they will. Chewits are back on their plat, and with 10 seconds left going into OT, DistInkt have zone, but they are only close to inkjet.
This is such a close game for both of these teams. Chewits Mafia need to get this retake sooner rather than later, but Afro just trying to get the pick, but Samich unfortunately does go down to the inkjet, and now with the penalty going down for the side of DistInkt, the strikes come out, but it might be a bit too late. The zone neutrals, and Chewits managed to get the zone when DistInkt had one tick left to be able to get the lead. Chewits take it back in the last second and put themselves 2-0 up. I mean, what a way to end that game. That was absolutely incredible. The perfect timing of those strikes from Chano. And I mean, after we thought all hope was lost from them in those last few seconds, that was one hell of a way to win that game.
How the hell did that game play out in that fashion?
And we have a Chris DC, probably because of a pop-off, I have to
I mean,
we had that a few times last time.
Yeah, we've seen it a few times where you just see a player poof off the screen as soon as the game ends, but wow, that was crazy. That was crazy back and forth. And
I think we need a breather after that one. That was
I mean, let alone us, the players and the people in the crowd as well.
Yeah.
Everyone, but you know, we got to keep the series going. That's the whole reason. It's as crazy as it is, but being DistInkt when going to 0-2 from a game like that, that is just
that's rough.
It doesn't represent how, especially that game has played out. Not necessarily both of the games, but that game was so back and forth. I mean, I'd say it was in DistInkt's hands for a lot of it, but it was just heroics near to the end that got Chewits over the line.
This map mode is one that is so volatile overall. I mean, Splat Zone's Robo Roman, it can be so back and forth, but also so snowbally at the exact same time. It's just such an explosive map mode, which I guess is why teams don't really tend to go for it that often if they're not fully confident on it. It's a map you have to be really confident on to be sure that you're going to be able to get that lead early.
Yeah.
Because, like we said, it's just so much happening all at the same time. But our third map mode in this BO5 is going to be Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market 1 that we saw Chewits Mafia play on earlier and, in fact, lose to Infrared on.
Yeah.
In the last few minutes, I'd like to point out as well.
This is a very interesting pick from DistInkt. But honestly, I think on paper it could work out pretty well for them. Especially with, I mean, if they're sticking on this bow, it's quite a narrow area that you have to stand on in court. Firing over those stacks, if you're able to get those shots off from a safe angle, it can be really strong displacement for the side of DistInkt to just force Chewits out in the open where you want them to go. It would probably also make them abuse the flank avenues maybe too much, overuse them, because once you recognize that either certain players or certain teams use those angles all the time in a match, you can bait them out and punish them for it, and you can get snowballs off of those kind of plays. So yeah, it's going to come down to execution once again.
Yeah, I think Hagglefish Zones is one of those tried and true map modes that teams have been playing for years. I mean, like since the release of Splatoon 3, I'd
Pretty
say.
much, yeah.
It's one of probably, I'd say it's probably the most common map mode that we have maybe in the entire game at the moment. Something that I'm sure both of these teams are very, very familiar with. It's just going to come down to these small details and who gets the kill when, whose specials connect more. But now, 2-0 up for Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavour, going into their third game against DistInkt on Hagglefish Zones. Can they clean this up and on a 3-0? Or are DistInkt going to put up a bit more of a challenge and force Chewits to play a game 4? Let's see how this goes as we start with our opening. Chewits opting to spread out just a little bit more. Ips going back, but Chris is already down almost immediately, going for that opening pick, but no, Tame is just running into their spawn as, oh, there's a disconnect. Chris 3 was the disconnect. I see.
Unfortunate.
We love to see
that
it.
Was... Obviously, it was only one pick, so I can't exactly call it an opening, but that was a very good initial engagement for DistInkt, getting that immediate kill. But Chano was, on that flank as well, not painting the ramp, so they didn't have knowledge of him. Obviously, going to be a replay. Same map, same mode, same comp, same everything. So we're going to be seeing the double Zuka, well, no, double strikes, one Zuka coming out from Chewits, and then also the Inkjet decavitator from the side of DistInkt. Now, I think Inkjet is extremely powerful on this map, always has been. Just the issue is, are you going to get shut down by Ips when you use that?
Yeah.
It can be good into a pencil if you pop it in their face, but the issue is you have to be in his face. And usually that's quite far back in comparison to the rest of the comp. So it's going to be finding that impact in mid around the zone, and then that's where you're open to a sniper to just firing you down.
Ips as well, like I was saying last game, has started to really keep his eyes on these players. He's doing what Yoshel does when he plays. Yoshel always has his eyes on every single player, and I was sat next to Ips when he was playing, when we were watching Yours Mammothly play against DistInkt in the set just before, and he was saying that he's going to try and do what Yoshel does and keep his eyes on all the players at all times during this set. So I think trying to get those Inkjets off for DistInkt might be a little bit more difficult on this map, because whoever's sitting on that gazebo, or whoever's sitting further back has a lot of vision on a lot of the map. They can most likely see both flanks. They can see the zone. So it's going to be a test to see if Tame can kind of have that sneakiness to their playstyle, but also it's going to be a test for Ips to see if he can keep an eye on the players of DistInkt.
Yeah, and that's a huge vantage point of being on Sniper Rifle or just backlines in general, especially if they're vocal players. You're able to get...
And Ips is a vocal player.
Yeah, definitely.
We've heard him.
Yeah, but you're able to just get a viewpoint almost all the time of just the entire map, especially on something like Zone's Hagglefish, where you're able to not only see your teammates' positions, but also a lot of the enemy's positions, and then get a picture of, whether they're painting for a special, whether they're ready to fight. And then, obviously, the comms and previous knowledge of who's close to a special. You're able to have a read on what's about to happen and give your teammates a warning much easier than someone who's in the fray of a 1v1 and they can't really see much else that's going on. So that can be something that, if you're looking towards vocal players on the team, then that can be something that can change a huge impact that we can't really see from our POV. Yeah,
and I think, while we're talking about vocal players, I think every single member of Chewits Mafia is very, very vocal. You watch these guys play against anyone else, and they will be the loudest players on their stage. No matter whether they're winning, no matter whether they're losing, Chewits will always be the loudest and will make that enemy team just, almost it's like they're making them feel smaller because they're so loud. But now you can hear the crowd. They're excited, going back into Splat Zone's Hagglefish Market for Chewits Mafia versus DistInkt. 2-0 currently to Chewits. Let's see if DistInkt can get that opening pick once more, but now Chris3 might be expecting it and hopefully won't have a DC this time.
Yeah, hopefully, but we're going to look at the early specials that are going to come out as well. Ips going early for that tactical look. Chewits are going to be close to those ink strikes. Chris is in danger and out of the zone as he will be eliminated and 2 will go down early for the side of Chewits. DistInkt just keep on going and eliminate 3 with Ips being the only one standing. They're going to have an inkjet soon. They might go for a very deep lockout.
I mean, Mooj here, always their aim looks so good on this bow. It's something that we've looked at even in every single qualifier and in this tournament so far. Mooj, the impact on that bow, people saying the weapon is not too good, but Mooj is saying, hey, look at me, this weapon is still good enough even if we have no cooler. And DistInkt looking for such a strong hold here, but
Afro!
Even with double strikes for Chewits Mafia, Afro going in straight away and just getting those important picks. This might just be a one cycle for DistInkt, but Chano getting that pick, but Tiger's behind him. And now with only 12 seconds left, things are looking dire for Chewits Mafia.
DistInkt are looking to 100-0 the game when their backs are against the wall. They show what they can do, and they will concede no points to Chewits on Zone's Haggle.
I mean, we saw Chewits lose on this map mode earlier to Infrared, but not in such a volatile way that we just saw now. That was such a good showing from the side of DistInkt, and I mean, I'm just in shock that it was a complete one cycle, 100-0 for DistInkt. And I mean, if you are DistInkt, you're going to be feeling pretty good about that. But then if you're on the side of Chewits, they're going to have to be making sure that their mental isn't going to go down. And I mean, I think one thing that's going to benefit them now is they now have the map pick.
Yeah, you want a DistInkt, you want a counter pick even? DistInkt just showed what a counter pick should be played like, I guess. That was extremely dominant. But
not just taking advantage of their strengths, but also taking advantage of Chewits' weaknesses as well. They saw that they didn't play this map very well earlier, so they were saying, hey, we probably feel pretty good on this map. They didn't play too good on it earlier, so let's give it a try.
But the difference between teams that allow those sort of openings to go to close games and the ones that are able to shut it out is just pushing even further forward with the resources they had. Once they got into court, got those 3 picks, immediately popping the inkjet as well, looking for even more pressure on goal, just not allowing Chewits to have downtime to farm those specials, not giving them a free way in back into that zone. Just decided that game, and it looks like we're going to be heading back to TC Shipshape.
TC Shipshape, a map mode of very many memories here in the UK Splatoon community. A lot of teams known for this. I said this yesterday. A lot of teams known for this map mode. We've had a lot of games shown on this map mode. We've had a lot of moments. I won my set on this map mode yesterday when I was playing Machine. I've notoriously gone against the team Return of Paradise on this map multiple times. Nearly beat them on it once. That was good. But we're not here to talk about Return of Paradise. We're here to talk about DistInkt versus Chewits Mafia after such an aggressive Game 3 from DistInkt. 2-1 now, still to Chewits Mafia. Let's see if with their counter pick, they can look any better. They were looking very strong on this map earlier against Infrared. So let's see what they can do against DistInkt. Another really nice opening from both sides here, but DistInkt getting it to mid just a bit faster than Chewits Mafia do. A lovely pick onto this onto Tiger there for Chewits Mafia. Cooler goes out almost instantly as well as Chris3 goes towards top left, gets a pick onto Afro and is now going and gunning for Mooj.
DistInkt look to punish some pushes, but Their positions were slightly off as Chewits looked to do what was just done to them as they will win the opening team fight in middle. Mooj looking to apply some chip damage as Chris's Zuka will not get any kills. Afro diving on him, not able to find Chris as he will stay standing, but Mooj will avenge their teammate. Samage forced to drop as Chewits will clear the first checkpoint, and Tiger diving in through court, unable to get anything yet, but Tame, I believe, is on the flank in middle. Will DistInkt be able to use this to their advantage? Tiger going in. Tame has to pop the inkjet. Chano and Ips. Ips jumps out, and Chano will be forced out as Tame will get the kill with the inkjet.
A really nice beginning push from Chewits Mafia, I do have to say, but DistInkt did such a good job at taking that control back straight away. And I mean, just getting this tower and looking for this push. But now Tame is down. Afro's looking for a pick onto Ips here, but Samage is there to aid his teammate whenever. The cooler is out for Chewits Mafia. There's two members down on the side, though. Ips manages to get the pick onto Afro and pops the cooler on himself as he waits for his teammates to respawn. Manages to get a pick onto Tiger as well. Ips, unfortunately, does go down to Mooj, but Chris 3 is here, ready and waiting to get this pick onto this bow as Tame has popped the inkjet, and Chewits Mafia are forced to retreat. Chris goes down as well.
DistInkt still had the tower that whole time. Ips was finding the picks, but Mooj still was on the tower the entire time. The Zuka from DistInkt is pushing Chewits back. Desperation strikes, and the Zuka as well available from Chris. But Chano is not in a position just yet. Will get the kill through the bubble that Tiger tries to pop onto the tower, and now DistInkt with their members left will not be able to sustain this push. Mooj will have to back away. Tame jumping in. Won't get Chano just yet. Looking for it, but goes for Ips instead. DistInkt get the lead, but will be stopped at 33.
Chewits Mafia now looking to gain a lot of this control back. Afro hiding up here in top left. Doesn't manage to get a pick. Samage cleaning that up really, really nicely. Going for the fight against Tame here. Strikes now popped almost instantly. One of them, I believe, went off the map. Looking to just pop them, get a bit more aggression in that top left. They need to hold this space as much as they can. Chris 3 jumping back in. Chewits need to hold this space without dying. Zuka comes out from Chris 3. Doesn't manage to find anything, but does hold them back. Chris does go down, and so does Samage. Chewits Mafia 3 down. It's all up to Ips. He needs to get out of here, and out he does. DistInkt holding middle now. Tower back in their control as they get it back into mid. Chewits Mafia need to look for something to get them back into this game. 39 to 33. It's not a big lead. Amazing pick from Chris. Strikes coming out as well. The whale out from the side of DistInkt. And this is a scrappy fight for the control of the tower.
Afro just didn't have the support they needed going through court. DistInkt maybe trying too early to get that push off, but Tame will still get that kill as Chris not going to shark in pit, going to opt to jump out, and Chewits will need to defend once again. Their specials are not close yet. DistInkt will have theirs online first. Tame positioned in court, and so is Afro with a good angle for the Zuka. Won't get kills yet, but will force Chewits to move around. The killer whale will also do so. Afro now looking for a flank. DistInkt and Chewits will be fighting on this right side. All four of Chewits in one group. And DistInkt aren't able to do much with it yet. Chris will be out of the picture for now. Afro now stuck, but still living. Not anymore, as Chano will capitalize and has those strikes as well. It's a good position for Chewits to end this push as the bubble will be destroyed. Chano will drop into court looking for Tiger, but not yet, as DistInkt still have 4 alive, and Chano is found in no man's land.
Wow, I mean, such an aggressive push from Chano when a Samage goes down as well. Afro going down from the hands of Chewits Mafia. They only had 2 more points put onto their score from that push, but Chewits now, it's going to be scrappy, and they're going to start to get desperate. 30 seconds left, and they have so much of this tower to push. Bubble goes out from the side of DistInkt as well. They don't have strikes to shred this. And DistInkt, they're going to end up getting this second checkpoint. Not quite, and Chris 3 getting the pick onto Tame, and Chewits now, 2 of them going down to the Zuka from Afro, and things are looking rough for Chewits Mafia. Afro is still here behind them, gonna get the pick onto the jump, and Afro doesn't manage to get taken down, and our set is a 2-2.
Game 5, DistInkt, Chewits Mafia. It's gotta be, it's intense again. Oh my goodness.
I have no words. This is I mean, an incredible set that we're seeing here from both of these teams. And this is now do or die for both of them. We talk about pressure when it comes to LANs a lot. But if we're talking about pressure, now is the time to talk about it. Game 5 in your elimination game in losers. One of the favorites to win, Chewits Mafia, and one of the absolute underdogs of this tourney that the crowd has been loving, DistInkt, both in risk of getting eliminated right now as Chewits get this final counter pick. And if I had to make a prediction, I would say that it would maybe be a Rainmaker Scorch angle.
Yeah, something that Chewits have definitely picked before in this tournament, and it has gone well for them on most occasions. I was trying to think back. Now, this is Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavor because it's a slightly different lineup from what they've been running with usually. But I was thinking back to, I don't know if I've ever seen Chewits in this situation where they're on the brink of being reverse swept.
No.
But I have.
Oh.
And that was Splat Reunion.
Oh.
And that time, Wei got the 5th game, along with the 3rd and the 4th. So,
okay.
Chewits are going to want to rewrite history here. This is an opportunity to get rid of the demons from your past and go to that grand final, have another shot at getting that UK LAN title. And this is the opportunity to do it. It's not even the best opportunity. It's maybe your only one.
I mean, think of the name of this LAN, Splat Legacy. Every single member on Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavor has a legacy to their name. If you think of, I mean, even just in the past year or so that we've had, Ips, Kryztal, and Samage all on that Chewits Mafia roster who have won, I mean, both, they won both Splat Vibes. They came close at UKC. And then you have Chano as well, who was a member of Spark, who did eventually manage to win UK champs, came 4th at European champs as well.
No clue who those guys are.
I mean, there are some insane legacies on the line for all 4 of these players. And also for Kryztal and Samage, this is going to be the last LAN that they'll be going to as players. This is their last opportunity to prove themselves and shown that all these years have been so worth it and that they are still on top of their game. And while I got the map right, the mode I didn't quite get, but still a very strong map for Chewits Mafia.
Yeah, they did already win Rainmaker in the series, so they're unable to pick that mode. And yeah, as you were saying, it's about what you want to leave behind. And Clam Scorch is where that's going to be determined for both of these teams. For the opportunity to fight against yours Mammothly in the grand final.
And that is a scary opponent to go up against. If you're DistInkt, you've already gone 0-3 down to them twice. Twice you've gone 0-3 down to yours Mammothly. You don't want to be facing that in the grand finals, but then Chewits Mafia Sparking Flavor, we've seen them play against yours Mammothly before and it was so close, and they are just so familiar with the players on that team that are already in those grand finals. They are going to be itching for the chance to get to fight them again. So if anything, this game means absolutely everything to both of these teams. Their last chance to prove that this grind has been worth it. Chewits Mafia fighting for their legacy, DistInkt fighting for the chance to prove themselves to everyone in the UK community. Clan Blitz, Scorch Gorge, Game 5 of Losers Finals, DistInkt versus Chewits Mafia. Let's see who we are going to be seeing on top here. Chano opting to go for that V-try again. That mist we saw on comeback did cause a lot of problems for DistInkt because they just want to go forward, and that mist stops them from doing so. But now, let's see what both teams have in store here. Kryztal, nice positioning here up in the middle. Tame going for that fight in left. Cooler out for the side now. Tame manages to jump out and gets into the safety position. Oh, and 2 members of DistInkt are already down. Chewits Mafia coming in with fire. Make that 3! Chewits, they are fighting for this, and they know that they have to win this game.
Chewits getting the exact opening you could wish for. Mooj looking to deny this angle on the bridge, but they will have more impact on the left side where Chewits all find themselves now. All 4 members, some with clams, trying to get them in, but down to only 65 so far. However, a very good opening push. Tame fighting in mid. Chris trying to evade, then will stall for a second, but will not keep his life as DistInkt nullify what could have been huge damage. Samage in middle. How is he not dead? Okay, he is now. Tame will get shut down out of that inkjet. Chano finding the kill. DistInkt 2 down once again. Chano could have an inkjet soon of his own, but there's one left in middle. Will they opt to stay? Tiger not backing away.
Oh my God.
Close to Jewett with the bubble. Will get Chris. And can DistInkt find more off of this? They are moving in, and they are finding Samage. Chano, name every member of Jewett's. They could go down. Tiger here, but DistInkt don't have the power climb yet. The bow has enough clams. The inkjet will not connect. Chano will pop his own, and Jewett's are fighting back to deny DistInkt taking the lead.
Lovely pick from Chano there onto that enemy inkjet. 2 members of DistInkt now down. Samage unfortunately falling as well, but gets the jump straight in, as I believe Jewett's Mafia had cooler. And now the map control in favor of Jewett's Mafia. Tame getting taken down as well. Chano just hiding in this corner, waiting patiently. Ips has this power climb in his hand. The miss forcing DistInkt back as well and slowing down their pushes a little bit. Chano manages to jump out and not quite falling to that killer whale. That Zuka from Afro, though, not quite finding what they wanted. And Azuka coming out from Samage of his own, not quite finding anything either, but forcing DistInkt to fall back. And now Jewett's Mafia looking to defend their clans.
When Tame fell on the left side, Afro won a huge 1v1 on the right to deny Jewett's an opportunity to push. However, DistInkt have one of their own right now. But again, no power climb. They're going to get the pity. They can jump into Tiger, who's looking to find everything that DistInkt need for this push. Will get the first kill, will not find a second, but Jewett's have the numbers advantage, 3v2.
And DistInkt haven't scored yet either. The power climb's still in their hands. We thought that they were going to jump to Tiger, but they never did. And Jewett's Mafia getting these really important picks onto DistInkt here. Mood really, really far back with this power climb as Jewett's Mafia fight to get this mid control back in their favor. Well in the hands of Mood, looking to displace Jewett just a little bit longer. Afro popping the Zuka. Both shots not quite able to find anything, and Ips knows that Tame is here. He has the eyes of a hawk, making sure that not a single member of DistInkt can get out alive. Samage unfortunately does fall, and Tame fighting Chano, but Chano manages to take him down, and now Jewett's are so far pushed up into their spawn, and it's looking like they're going to get 2 power clams in here now, and that's 30 down, 24 left for Jewett's Mafia. Not many clams left in their hands. 2 members of DistInkt are already down, and it's only 3 clams left, and Jewett's get the wipe, and the clams are there, and they're going to get them in, and Jewett's Mafia win the set, and they're finding themselves in grand finals against DistInkt after such a hard and tough battle against DistInkt in this entire tournament. Jewett's Mafia prove to everyone watching that their legacy has to be known and that they are worthy of being in these grand finals.
Jewett's will keep DistInkt in the position of challengers. They will deny the reverse sweep.